She's pleading with Sandeep. She's trying to convince him to give a video of the father along the lines of what he's already said, which is already in the public domain. Sandeep talks about how his family is under pressure, that there's police sitting on the rooftop, that their phones are under surveillance. Mr. Malviya, why are the telephones of journalists in our country being tapped? Why are these telephone calls being leaked to media that favors the government of the day? I think there are some very serious questions you, Amit Malviya, need to answer.
Look, Rahul, first of all, I am not quite sure if your allegations that the government of the day or the UP government is tapping journalists' phone is right. Because today every phone has a recording device, and for all you know, it may have come from somewhere else.
No, so may have come from where? One second. This has been run by a website that leans very squarely towards your government, works in close tandem with your cell, and now you're telling us that they got this. How did they get this? How did they get this? Can you please explain that? If, for example, this is on Sandeep's phone, why has the police in Uttar Pradesh taken away Sandeep's phone? Is he the victim? Is he the terrorist? Is he the accused? He is the grieving brother of a girl who's been raped and murdered. You need to answer, why are phones of journalists being recorded, Mr. Malviya?
Well, Rahul, if you're done feeling outraged, let's get on to the discussion.
No, just answer my question. Why are telephone records? Why are telephones of journalists being recorded, sir? How are these being leaked? How did they manage to get their hands towards media that leans very squarely towards you? Just respond to my question, sir.
Well, you know, there are times when people accuse you of leaning to the government as well.
No, which is fine. I don't care about that. That doesn't matter.
That does not make you our pawn.
No, doesn't matter. You answer my question. Why was a journalist's telephone recorded? Just respond to my question, Mr. Malviya.
Well,
why is your government in Uttar Pradesh recording the telephones of journalists? How is this okay? The family is on record saying they're under surveillance. Their phones have been seized. Why have their telephones been seized, Mr. Malviya?
Well, Rahul, you're smarter than that. You know that there is a process to record and tap phone calls, right? You can't be outraging and you can't be making these rhetorical questions just to save your skin.
If there is a process to record telephone calls, please tell me what is the process under which section of which Indian law of leaking those telephone calls when an SIT is underway to people outside those who are in the investigation team. How did that telephone call get leaked? In which case?
Rahul, you're assuming that the government has recorded the call. You forget that we're living in a high-paced tech era where every phone has a recorder, and there are ways that the recording find their way.
Okay. So there are two people on the call. One of them is our journalist. One of them is the victim's family. One second, sir. One of them is our journalist. One of them is the victim's brother. Now, our journalist most certainly didn't leak this. She doesn't have a recording. In fact, Tanushri joins us live, and I want to welcome her at this time because Amit Malviya is with us, and Tanushri joins us from the ground. And on the other side, you've got the victim's brother, in which case I ask you, our journalist didn't give it, that I'm pretty certain of. I investigated this case myself. Secondly, if you got this from the victim's brother, why is the victim's brother's phone under surveillance? Is he the victim's brother? Is he the accused's brother? You've got section 144 in place, just 2 kilometers away from where this ghastly gang rape has happened. A whole congregation of the accused family and their friends and their community members took place in complete brazen violation of section 144. Why were they not stopped? Why was there no fortress there, Mr. Malviya? There are some very serious questions you need to answer.
Well, Rahul, first of all, don't scream. I don't like conversations which go above a certain decibel level, so let's keep it civil. As far as the recording is concerned, well, the recording is out. Your journalist is seen.
So there are only two phones. One is our journalist.
Don't scream, Rahul.
I'm not screaming. I'm very calm.
Don't scream.
I'm very calm. Mr. Malviya, I'm very calm. I hope you calm down as well. I'm very calm.
If you scream, we are not having this conversation. So calm down. Don't raise your voice with me.
I'm not raising my voice.
Now we'll have the conversation. Now let me finish what I have to say.
Why was the phone call leaked? How did it get leaked? Okay, let's assume it's not from our journalist. Let's assume that it's from Sandeep's phone. Why was Sandeep's phone leaked? Is this not a matter which should be investigated?
Listen, Rahul, if you allow me to speak and stop screaming, we'll have a conversation. Otherwise, you can continue with this discussion with your other panelists. Now, listen to what I have to say. The fact is that this conversation was had. It's a 16-minute long conversation. It is out there in the public domain. It doesn't matter which channel, which website is carrying it. India's leading Hindi channel, Republic, is carrying this story. If you think they are aligned to the government, good luck to you. If you think that your journalist has had a kosher conversation, good luck to you, because it is out there in social media, everybody is listening.
Okay, so when I speak to you or you speak to somebody else, can those calls also get leaked? How does a journalist call get leaked? Why are telephones being tapped? If this is, and you said that there's elaborate process, yes, there most certainly is elaborate process, but there is no process to leak those calls, Mr. Malviya.